بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الأمي برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Respected Ummah, we continue with yesterday's discussion. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, the forefather of our beloved sallallahu alayhi wasallam, now leaves his family, his wife Hazrat Hajar, son Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, in this desert land Makkah Mukarramah. And now he walks away. He sees his family from a distance. He sees them. They can't see him now because he held his strength, and now he makes dua. This is the greatest strength. Allahu Akbar. And what was his dua? In Surah Ibrahim chapter 14 verse 40. رَبَّنَا O our Rabb, إِنِّي أَسْكَنْتُ مِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي, I've made my progeny reside in this valley that has no vegetation and is inhabited. But Allah, it is by your sacred Kaaba Sharif, in the Baytik al-Muharram. O our Rabb, let it be that my family establish Salah. Now imagine, this is the first plea of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, that his progeny must perform Salah. Now imagine, put yourself in this situation, respected Ummah. We're leaving our family. What would we worry about? Safety, food. Allah's Nabi is worried about Salah because everything starts from there. Allah give us tawfiq. How important it is to establish Salah in our families and our children from young. And make dua that Allah connect them to Salah, because then they have the avenue to draw from Allah's strength. So the first dua of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, رَبَّنَا لِيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةِ. Then he says, Allah, so soften hearts of people towards them, because now they are alone in this isolated area. فَاجْعَلْ أَفْئِدَةً مِّنَ النَّاسِ تَهْوِي إِلَيْهِمْ. Make the hearts of people soften and incline towards them. Be soft, be kind, be loving towards them. Don't let people tyrannically oppress them, usurp their rights, seeing their plight of being alone. And then last, he says, Allah, وَارْزُقْهُمْ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ. And also Allah, provide for them from fruit. And that also means food. So that they appreciate thee. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَشْكُرُونَ. Now this is verse number 37. Chapter 14, verse 37. And the dua of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam continues. But it's so amazing. Pertinent to our topic is this dua of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. And then he goes away. But I want to mention here, interestingly, Allah mentions the greatness of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam and his son Ismail alayhi salam, even to the previous nations. Interestingly, in the Bible, Genesis, which is the first chapter 17, verse 20. From the beginning of the chapter 17, Allah tells Ibrahim alayhi salam about his sons, and I mentioned to you the dates and so forth, how the ages of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. But here in verse 20, Allah says, and as for Ismail, or Ishmael as it is there, I have heard you, meaning I have answered your dua. I will surely bless him. I will make him fruitful and will greatly increase his numbers. He will be the father of 12 rulers. And other translations have 12 princes, many great people. And I will make him into a great nation. Now, interestingly, this is known to the people reading the Bible, that they should know Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam and Hazrat Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. Yes, so many of the prophecies concerning Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and his forefather Hazrat Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam has been distorted, has been changed. But there's a lot still there. I have some writing of my brother right in front of me in my notes. He wrote for me where exactly, where is Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and Hazrat Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, and in indications to so many aspects of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam's life in the Bible, prevalent today. So my point here is, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam leaves his son Hazrat Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam there, and he carries on. And now he leaves them, and now they're alone, mother and son. Whatever little food, dates they had was used up in a little while, And after some time, there was nothing for them to eat. They are alone in this isolated, desolate desert. Allahu Akbar. What is to be done? Now mother is worried. Her child is hungry. What is she going to do? How is she going to provide for her child? And what she does now, searching for food for her child. She's searching for help. They're alone there. She knows Allah is going to help her. But she's searching. She's worried. She's looking for her child. Food, help. And then she runs up Safa, then down the mountain towards Marwa, and then Safa again, Marwa, Safa, Marwa, looking relentlessly, concerned, worried about her child. How Allah loved her action. Imagine, today we see it. Every Nabi of Allah after her, every righteous man after that follows the same practice of Hazrat Hajar, alayhi salam. And after some time, she hears something. So she tells herself, wait, keep quiet, saw. And then she rushes to her child and she sees what had happened. Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam had come and dug under his foot, and the amazing water of Zamzam gushed forth. Subhanallah. And from that time, we have Zamzam. Alhamdulillah. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam explained, as he was explaining the incident of Hazrat Ismail and Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, how Allah blessed this water. And this water is a quench for the thirst and food for the stomach. It encompasses both benefits. So many nutritional benefits. And more so, every dua is accepted when one drinks Zamzam. Anyway, Hazrat Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam grows with his mother there. And Allah Ta'ala made it, interestingly, that another nation leaving their town, Yemen, they had left because of disasters that had happened there. They looking for greener pastures. And they passing this area. They know this is a desert, it's desolate, it's not an area they want to be. But from a distance, they notice these birds in such a motion that there could be something there. So they send someone to verify, and lo and behold, there's water, and they were amazed. They come there. They've been here before, there was never water. Anyway, when they come there, they see Hazrat Hajar and Hazrat Ismail alayhim salam. And Allahu Akbar. This was a huge tribe. This was the Jurhum tribe. Jurhum. But Allah softened their hearts. They asked Hazrat Hajar politely, would you allow us to stay and benefit from the water and so forth? She allowed. But she said, we are in authority here. They accepted all her conditions. Now remember the dua of Hazrat Ibrahim? Oh Allah, you soften the hearts of people. Allahu Akbar. And anyway, they stayed. It's reported in this hadith that Hazrat Hajar obviously wanted some company for herself and for her child. But obviously, she had to portray herself strong and resist at first. And Allahu Akbar, they stayed there. And Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam grew up and he learned the Arabic language from them. And that's how he mastered the Arabic language. This was a Yemeni tribe from Jurhum. And imagine, now comes other events in the life of Hazrat Ibrahim and Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, where whenever Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam would come and Allah allowed him, he would come see his family, see his child. Because Hazrat Ishaq alayhi salam was born many years later. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam was 99. So that's 13 years later. So in that interim also, he would always come, and subhanallah, we all know the incident that we hear. Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam was still very young, and Allah sent Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam to sacrifice his son, Hazrat Ismail, and he took him towards Mina. Shaitan made whisperings in the heart of Hazrat Hajar because she had nobody else. Now imagine, Shaitan is capitalizing on that emotion. And each time Shaitan whispered to her that, you know where Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam is taking your son? He said he will take him where Allah commands him to take him. No, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to slaughter and so forth. What Allah has commanded him to do, he will do. That was the reaction of Hazrat Hajar. Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Allah's Nabi mentioned the people of Egypt and said, be good to them, O my Sahaba. Your mother comes from there. Your mother comes from there. In one hadith, Allah's Nabi said, Dhimma wa Seerah, wa Dhimma wa Rahima. Dhimma is that they would be non-Muslims at first under your protection. And they are our family, Rahim, family ties, referring to Hazrat Hajar. She comes from Egypt. And in the other report, Allah's Nabi said, Dhimma, protection, your protection will be under you, be good to them. And also Sihr, they have family tie with the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How? Because Allah's Nabi's beloved son Ibrahim's mother, Hazrat Maria, also hailed from there. So two different hadiths indicate to those two different relations. That's how Islam spread so rapidly in Egypt much later, when Hazrat Amr ibn al-As was giving the da'wat, and so many of the priests said, your Nabi actually advocated joining such ties that are so far. That is the teachings of Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, joining ties, subhanallah. Anyway, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, and we know this incident, subhanallah, how he takes his son, and how he proves through his actions his love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he sacrifices, he's about to sacrifice his son, and Allah sends a replacement, the ram from Jannah. Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Two or three times. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar was the statement of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. So first, Hazrat Jibreel comes with this ram, calling out, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ibrahim alayhi salam sees what Allah has done. La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar. Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam sees what had happened. How Allah sends the ram from Jannah as his father was trying to sacrifice him, but it wasn't going through. Ya Allah, Ya Allah. And Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam said, Allahu Akbar walillahil hamd. Respected Ummah, we have to learn to sacrifice our desires for Allah. Sacrifice and leave sin for Allah. And prioritize Allah in our life. That is the ultimate primary objective of our life. Anyway, that was one of the incidents. Another incident, Ibrahim alayhi salam comes some years later to collect his son. And together, father and son build Kaaba Sharif and build Baytullah. That's also in the Quran Sharif. And interestingly, that incident is in Surah Al-Baqarah. So Surah Al-Baqarah is the first surah to be revealed in Medina Munawwara. And the themes are so pertinent to share Islam with the Jewish community at that time residing in Medina Munawwara. Even the construction of the Kaaba, and prior to that facing Baytul Maqdis, and Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam's construction of the Kaaba, and the dua during that process is so amazing. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Oh Allah, accept from us. And the beautiful rhetoric and deep meaning in taqabbal, showing that humbleness before Allah. Allah, you accept from us through thy grace and mercy, even though we don't deserve. This is teaching us how to humble ourselves before our merciful, kind, loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that incident also took place. When Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam was of marriageable age. Allahu Akbar. Who did he wed? A woman from the Jurhum tribe. This also Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained in the hadith. Hazrat Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam wedded, and Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam used to visit his family. When he came to visit his son, he found that his son was not there, but his daughter-in-law was there. Cutting a lengthy incident shorter, he found that she didn't have such character and appreciation. And anything she was asked about, she was only ready to complain about her husband to anybody, because she didn't know Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam at the time. She was just complaining, and towards the end of that discussion, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam left a message that tell Ismail to change the doorstep. Anyway, sometime later, when Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, few months later, visited his son, and his wife was so appreciative, so Allah conscious, so kind and caring for the elderly. At the end of that discussion, even appreciative of her husband's efforts, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam left a message for his son saying that tell him to hold on to what Allah gave him. And interestingly, the door, the wife is referred to as the door because as we hear and learn from our pious, deen will come into the home through the wife. Men have to make an effort, but many a time the children are left at the mercy of the mother. And if the mother is Allah conscious, she'll inspire them with deen. Then Allah will save them from what the forces of batil are trying to do out there in indoctrinating our children negatively through the efforts of the mother from very young. To such an extent that even we learn from our elders, even when the child is in the mother's womb, already we must be sitting in ta'aleem and reading lots of Quran because the child hears already from the mother's womb. And interestingly, scientifically proven as well, the first limb to function in the mother's womb is the hearing. And more amazing is the fact that when Quran mentions the limbs of the human being, وَهُوَ الَّذِي أَنْشَأَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ. Allah mentions the hearing first. Science, much later, now of recent times, will tell us that, it's the functionality of the hearing that's first. Quran Sharif said it long ago, وَهُوَ Allah ka kalam hai. So what our elders say is so wise. Do the halaqah of ta'aleem, my mother, my sister, my respected brother, in the home. And my respected mother, when you're pregnant with your child, make sure to sit. The child is hearing. Let's not be vulgar in the home. Let's not, listen to evil things in the home. Allah save us from promiscuity. Allah save us from music. Let's listen to Quran. The child is listening inside. Let's talk politely with akhlaq. Allahu Akbar. Allah blessed Hazrat Ismail alayhi salatu wassalam with 12 sons. And imagine that verse is in the Bible also. As I mentioned to you, I read it to you, 17:20. And we see in our history books the mention of the 12 sons of Ismail alayhi salatu wassalam from his wife, the daughter of Madad. Madad was the chief of the Jurhum tribe that we just mentioned. So he wedded his daughter, who was a very appreciative wife and very kind. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed that union with 12 children. I'll mention some of them to you, but I want you to remember at least two, because from there hails the offspring of the greatest. Who I want you to remember, Nabit, and the other I want you to remember is Qaydar. There are others, Hadad, Yatma, Yatur, Nafis, Mibsham, Idba'il, so many. But remember Qaydar, because our next discussion will hail from there, that who is Qaydar, as we're making our journey towards the best of the best, the greatest of Allah's creation. This is how Allah made this happen. وصلى الله على النبي الأمي برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. جزاكم الله for the opportunity.